AmicusHorizon would like to become the best landlords by 2016. We want to be number one.
The best housing association.
In the whole country.
But also, they want to be able to change the perception of what social housing is about and the influence it can have.
To find out how AmicusHorizon is already leading by example in the sector and beyond, we caught up with Steve Douglas and Peter Cruttenden from the board as they reflected on another successful year of results. First up for discussion was the role that resident governance has played in this success.
What's really nice about it is that we've stuck to our guns on it. It's not a fad. When it was very fashionable to have resident governance, we'd already started to get engaged in it.
We made a promise 4 years ago about making the local voice really important, even though we were getting bigger as an organisation. And we really delivered that, I believe, and actually put ourselves in a position where there is true resident influence in terms of how we operate.
We're still absolutely committed to it, and you can see the difference.
The results over the last 4 years have really put us in a major position as an example in the sector. We've seen the key performance indicators dramatically improve, and today the level of resident satisfaction is above 95%, and it's absolutely breathtaking to actually see that level of improvement. Apart from the performance indicators, which are the thing that matter to the residents, we've seen the external recognitions as well. We've seen the awards, top employer, best company to work for, amongst many others.
We talk about the one team approach, and I think that's absolutely the case in terms of the improvements that we've seen. Our resident governance, our strategic board, our staff team all working together has made that big difference.
Governance structure, it's made for us residents, for everyone, at every level, from the area panels and different regions. Then we go into the resident council, things go up to the board. It's a golden thread. It links everybody together because it works both ways, because it comes back down the line to the area panel and then it goes out to the residents. So everybody's involved, everybody knows what's going on, and we're all working on that goal, for that goal together.
They've got this, overarching thing of the one team approach, which at the end of the day, serves to help everyone, residents, the staff, and the wider community.
It's a two-way thing. Staff realise from us what we need. We realise how staff work hard to achieve that for us.
Talking to people from other housing associations, they're quite gobsmacked on what AmicusHorizon actually do, and you have to say it over and over again. They go, no, and you go, yes, this is actually what we do.
When we go out together, AmicusHorizon as well as residents. We meet the community as one team, and a lot of the residents are quite surprised when we do the door knocking or we greet them and actually say, no, we're residents, so we know what you're going through, but we want to hear it from you.
The one team approach was certainly demonstrated this year when resident staff and grounds maintenance contractor Blenwood all joined forces to create a myth-busting show garden at the Kent County Show.
What we wanted to do was to try and drive away the misconception that a lot of people have about social housing front gardens, to show that for not much money and for using easily available plants and materials, you could absolutely transform a front garden.
I actually do grounds maintenance as my core meeting, and I was passionate about changing people's perceptions of how social housing residents keep their gardens. When the idea came up, I wanted to be on board right from day one.
And so what we decided to do was to do a kind of before and after garden. The first garden, the rubbish garden in a way, was what we felt approximated to people's misconceptions of what social housing front gardens could be. And obviously the second one was what they can be.
We won gold for our front garden, and it was very well deserved. It was truly a team effort from the residents who had a big influence on Show Garden, members of staff who got heavily involved, and also the contractors.
A lot of the people that we spoke to on the showground almost seemed to think of it as a revelation about the potential, and also that the Housing Association was making such an effort to change people's perceptions.
Of course, AmicusHorizon is no stranger to winning awards, blazing trails and changing the ways in which residents and the wider public perceive their role as a social housing provider. In Rushendon, the innovative I4 Sustainability Programme has won multiple awards for its combination of state-of-the-art energy-saving technology, large-scale community development and a learning and employment support programme.
The main aim is to actually create sustainability and energy saving. The secondary aim is to actually create a community where people want to live. Before, Rushendon was the place not to go to, and the estate now is hugely better. The knock-on benefits that are just coming to light now are the pride on the estate, the looking after each other, the more neighbourhood sort of engagement. Projects like this I think really change the perception of social housing, because irrespective of the works that we do to the actual physical buildings, we create an aspiration that they feel a pride in where they live, and actually if you generate that, then the social housing aspect, they cease to become houses and become homes. They take responsibility for the area and the community they live in.
AmicusHorizon recognises that each and every resident can influence their local areas and help to build stronger communities. When the community development team invest in individuals through personal development, training and employment opportunities, they empower residents to influence the way that those who live in social housing are perceived.
I've been on several different courses with AmicusHorizon, and they helped me build my confidence and self-esteem. And then in 2012 I trained to be a mentor to help people who was in my situation come through their own difficulties and be better at the end of it, which also led me to win an award in 2013 for Empowered to Speak Up for the Community.
AmicusHorizon are being very helpful, trying to get people back into work, giving you confidence to sort of get out and do things, you know, sort of just make a better person of yourself. I was long-term unemployed, went on a DIY SOS course, and I haven't looked back really, and managed to secure a job out of it.
I think it's really important that AmicusHorizon do these courses because it creates a community base. If people see a person who's been on the courses blossom and be self-motivated and basically get a job or even redecorate their house, and then they're going to think, well, I can do that.
Residents themselves are the best advocates for the success of AmicusHorizon. And nowhere is this more true than with the young people who sit on the youth forums.
I think it's very important for the young people to help with AmicusHorizon because it stops perception of making us feel that we destroy our community.
Everyone thinks that young children ain't capable of doing stuff for their community. They think they're out on the streets doing like bad things and stuff, but really they're actually not. They're like actually helping their community. Like
me and Demi, like the young tenants around our areas, the AmicusHorizon house, we're the ones that run the project, so it just shows our younger generation, so our little brothers and sisters, that they can help stop everyone thinking that kids are ruining the area.
Both Demi Jade and Jaden, they're real role models, and people are looking to Demi Jade and they're looking at Jaden and thinking, these young people are doing some fantastic work here, and that is bringing such a fantastic vibe within the neighbourhoods.
The work of both Demi Jade and Jaden has been recognised by the Tenant Participation and Advisory Service, who presented them in consecutive years with the National Young Tenant of the Year Award.
Sometimes you feel very happy about certain things you do because like you find that it's helping your community and with people that live around you.
I get a real buzz off it because I can walk through my community now and I have the younger generation just coming up to me and saying, am I going to run this club next? Am I going to run that club? And they're just throwing ideas at me, and you can see they really, really enjoy it. So knowing that I'm part of that is something that I would want to do in the future, as well as keep doing it in the present.
One of the aims of Amicus Horizon is to change perception of social housing residents, and our young people certainly have done that.
There are many ways that residents can influence how social housing is perceived. They have to say. I live in social housing, and I'm also part of Amicus Horizon. I am part of that community, and I can influence what happens.
I think it's our responsibility, I think it's everybody's responsibility to actually say, if you're doing something well, then be proud of what you're doing.
As I move around the sector and hear what other people say about us, it's clear now that they're interested in two things. They're interested in the progress we made and how we've done it, but they're also interested in the fact we're now in a leadership position in some of these aspects of the organisation, and they're obviously very keen to know what they can do to emulate that.
I think as part of our one team approach, we should all be talking about it, because that will give us greater influence and it'll help to change some of the stereotypes there are about housing associations, some of the stereotypes there are about the people that live in housing association homes. We're making a difference every day, and actually we should be proud of that, and we should make sure that the world knows about it as well.